Hello and welcome to Rathod's IAS. Today in this session, we are going to see the current affairs of 9th November 2023. So without wasting any time, let us see the important articles from the Delhi edition of Hindu edition. Okay, so we are going to see the Delhi edition of the Hindu, and this is the first page or front page of the Hindu edition. And the first article which is we are going to discuss, it is about Kerala moves Supreme Court against governor again. So already we discussed this topic in yesterday's lecture, day before yesterday's lecture. Like from past 4 days we are discussing this article regarding powers of governor. So what is that? Powers of governor in passage of bills. So in passage of bills, what are the powers to present with governor? So as you all know that governor is the nominal head of the state, right? So if any bill which becomes an act, so this so governor need to give assent. The issue here is in states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala and even other states where non-BJP government is there, so there they are facing the withholding of bills. So this so governors, they are not giving the assent. They are withholding the bills. So this is the cause of concern of many states. And this issue which went to Supreme Court also. And Supreme Court also showed. Okay, Supreme Court also said that yes, it is not a proper way. Okay, so because of this, yes, we discussed about powers of governor and we discussed about what are the constitutional provisions. And this year in your prelims, you can expect a question regarding passage of bill process in state legislative assembly. And even you have to see which are the constitutional provisions or articles like 153, like 154 articles which talks about functions of this governor. And even you have to know especially discretionary functions of governor. And one more important dimension from your mains point of view here is you have to see what will be the impact. So what will be the impact? Because whenever withholding of bills happening, then what happens? The law making process will be affected. So what will be the impact if this law making process is delayed? So from that dimension also you need to think, because you are future bureaucrat. So from now onwards on this day, so from today onwards, you have to start thinking like a bureaucrat. Okay, so if you start thinking like a bureaucrat, so what are the issues that you are seeing in newspaper that you will start to see in different dimensions? So yesterday I got a comment like, so ma'am, what is the secret? Like you got this much knowledge. So when I started analyzing this newspaper, I will be analyzing as a bureaucrat. So in this way here, I will be getting the dimensions. So that is a secret. So start thinking about the articles from a bureaucrat point of view, then you will be also getting that many dimensions. Okay, and next topic it is about G7 meet appeals for humanitarian pauses in Gaza. So you know that Israel-Palestine issue, so it is not a new now. It had been happening from since 19th century onwards, right? So now what happened? So Hamas, they started attacking Israel. Okay, so here Indians who are present in this region, so they are evacuated by our government of India, right? And one more thing here is you have to focus on what is this G7. And newspaper you will become across this organizations like G8, G20 and G7. You have to know which are the countries they are members of this regional organizations. So from that members point of view, you can expect a prelims based question. Okay, so that is the thing that you have to remember from this article point of view. And here you can see like image, so it is a very colorful image. So this is about Diwali. So around 50,000 lamps they have ready and been supplied for Ayodhya Deepotsav on November 11th. So here you have to think about organic making of lamps. Okay, rather than using of artificial lights, so we can use this traditional diyas. Okay, so that we can also go for environment friendly lightings on this Diwali festival. Okay, and this is about this front page. So in the SETI page there is nothing much important in today's newspaper, so you can simply leave that. And in this states page also most of the articles are political articles, but if you are preparing for any other competitive examination, so this article is important. That is, Palakkad veteran trumps man from Gibraltar to enter Guinness as world's longest serving lawyer. So you have to remember the name of that person, that is P.B. Meenan. So he got Guinness record as world's longest serving lawyer. So he served for 73 years, 60 days. Okay, remember that if you are preparing for other competitive examinations, so this will be important. And if you move on, you can directly go to this editorial page. So before that, you can see one article here. That is about Kerala forms organic farming mission to boost agriculture. So here you have to focus on the keyword, that is organic farming. So what is this organic farming? What are the benefits? So here, one more tragedy here is we can connect with international relations. So you know about Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka is our neighboring country. So one of the important cause for Sri Lankan crisis is organic farming. They went for organic farming and that led to decreasing of agricultural produce in Sri Lanka. So this article says that Kerala forms this organic farming mission and they want to boost this agriculture. So I am saying reality that we can't expect what is going to happen, whether it will going to boost or whether it is going to decrease. But in Sri Lanka, because of this organic farming, that led to decreasing of agricultural produce. This is one of the important cause for Sri Lankan crisis. So this article is important from geography point of view and even environment and ecology point of view. Because here we are not using herbicides or pesticides. So because of this we are curtailing or we are preventing pollution. Yes or no? So this article is at most important and we have to see this topic in detail. And if you move on, yes, in this editorial page you can see this article. It is regarding an under-discussed facet of colonial history. So this topic is about indentured labor. So how many of you are from mains answering practice students? Please let me know. So if you are the students of this mains answering practice, I think you have already wrote an answer regarding this indentured laborers. So who are those? What are the causes for this indentured laborers? So where they are present, right? Everything we discussed in our mains answer writing, right? So here this topic is about just what is indentured labor and what is the meaning of slavery, and especially why there was indentured labor during this period, and from India also because of famines. For example, the Great Bengal famine, etc. So there was no proper rainfall and people were dying in lakhs because of lack of food, right? So at that time here, many people they went as indentured laborers and they are working in different plantations like tea plantations and sugarcane plantations. Okay, not only in India but even in the other countries as well, like Caribbean islands like Sri Lanka, etc. So here you need to know this concept of indentured labor, what it is and what are the causes of this indentured labor and how this indentured labor they are protecting their culture, right? And next topic it is about Taiwan and Malacca blockade and India's options. So as you all know that China is our neighboring country and we are sharing boundary. But with this China, we are having lot of issues continentally and as well as maritime. So continental means wherever we are sharing land boundary with China, so we are having disputes. Yes or no? Yes. At western sector, central sector and eastern sector. And not only this, even in the maritime sector, that is in the water also. So here China want to increase its expansion. So it is going with aggressive expansionist policy and it came up with a string of pearls and it is coming up with setting up of bases in the different countries and want to increase its influence even in Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, etc. So one certain example here is it want to control Malacca Strait. So this Malacca Strait is one important choke point where the world trade will happen, right? So here it wants to occupy this Malaccan Strait. So in that context, so what are the options which are present before India? So that is the thing which is given here and we are going to see that topic in detail. And this topic is important from your international relations which comes under our GS paper 2. And this Malacca Strait is important from your map based question in your prelims. Clear? And in this opinion page there is one article, it is regarding EFIR. So you have to know what is this EFIR. So what are the benefits? So what is the recent recommendations of Law Commission? So all these things that you have to remember and this topic is important from your GS paper 2 under governance point of view. So in your governance you will come across these two words, that is transparency and accountability. So how can we increase this transparency and accountability? So whenever we are using this ICT, information and communication technology, right? So we are using that technology and we are filing FIR electronically, that is called as EFIR. So this is very important topic, okay, from good governance point of view. And you can move on to this text and context page. Here you can see this article. It is regarding importance of loss and damage funds. So here what happened? So whenever any disaster happen, means it will cause a severe loss for life and as well as property. So for that we need to have this damage funds, right? Loss and damage funds. So you have to see when this loss and damage fund came into picture, right? For example, in COP19, that is Conference of Parties 19, so we came up with this establishment of loss and damage fund. So you have to see what is that. So what is the use? So what is the meaning of adaptation? So what is the meaning of loss and damage? So all these things that you have to remember, that is important from your environment and ecology which comes under GS paper 3. And this topic is important from your mains point of view. Clear? And now let us move on. In this news page, there is nothing much important. Leave this assembly polls. So here you can see one more article regarding bad air quality. That is in Kolkata. So Kolkata air quality index deteriorating fast ahead of Deepavali. So we are going to celebrate this Diwali on 12th November. And on 13th November we will be having no analysis because newspaper will not be published. Okay, I reveal the secret. And here if you see this air quality index, so which are the pollutants that we are going to measure? So we have 8 pollutants, so please let me know which are those. And not only in Delhi but even other metropolitan cities, they are facing this bad air quality. So here you can get a question regarding this air quality index and what are the reasons. What are the reasons for bad air quality in metropolitan cities, MPCs. MPC is nothing but the group in Inter, Maths, Physics and Chemistry. It is nothing but metropolitan cities here. Okay. So here you have to see what are the reasons for this pollution in these metropolitan cities. And if you are a traffic police, so how can you control? So how can you control pollution here? Or if you are a member of CPCB, how? What are the measures that you can take? Tell me your course of action in the comment box. Think and tell me your course of action in the comment box. Don't forget about this. And next important article here is world will overshoot 2030 fossil fuel limit by twice over. It says the report. So recently one report says that, okay, that is production gap report. It released. It prepared by Stockholm Environment Institute, Climate Analytics, International Institute for Sustainable Development and UNEP. So this report is released by all these things, right? And they said that coal, oil and petroleum that we are using now, that is going to be phased out. So that means nothing but, so by 2030, so we are using them in the twice. So whenever we are using this non-renewable energy more, then what happens? So they will be not renewable. It will take some years to renewable them, right? So because of this, we will be going for phasing out. So that will be not going to available in the future, right? So here you have to know about one important concept of Paris Climate Deal. So Paris Climate Deal says that we have to decrease temperature by 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees centigrade. But this target has not been achieved because the countries are not taking enough steps to control the use of fossil fuels. So using of these fossil fuels, they will be releasing lot of carbon emissions into atmosphere. That is one of the leading cause for global warming. So this is about this topic, and here you have to see what is this net zero emissions and targets of different countries. So China said that we are going to achieve this net zero by 2060. India said that we are going to achieve this net zero by 2070. And European countries said that they are going to achieve this by 2050. Okay, so here you have to see that topic in detail. And next topic here is NIA arrest, that is National Investigation Energy arrest 44 for alleged link with human trafficking. So if we are talking about human trafficking in our fundamental rights, so one right which prevents human trafficking. Let me know which is that right or which is that article talks about this human trafficking in our fundamental rights. And next topic is 30% of ration under PDS diverted to open market in Bengal. That means nothing but black marketing of this food grains is happening here. So whenever we are talking about PDS system, you can give example of Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh came up with the linking of this PDS system with ICT technology, like fingerprints, everything, so that it wants to decrease the loopholes, or it wants to decrease like corruption in this PDS system. So you can I write that AP example here whenever you are talking about this PDS system and how to control the corruption in this PDS system. Is that clear? And in this business page, you can see there is one article that is about RBI. So RBI may cut rates in 2024 to 2025 if food inflation is tamed. So here you have to see about one important concept, that is role of RBI in controlling inflation. So in controlling inflation, so what is the role which is played by RBI? Yes, it have monetary policy in its hand. Okay, so RBI has monetary policy in its hand. So in this monetary policy, sometimes it will increase interest rates, sometimes it decrease interest rate. Okay, so whenever there is money supply, Whenever there is increased money supply in market, that will leads to inflation. So in this condition, RBI need to decrease the money supply. So here interest rate will be increased by RBI, so that the banks will be having minimum amount of money to lend to the people, so that we can decrease the money supply in the market. So whenever RBI wants to increase the money supply, it will decrease the interest rates. So this is about this monetary policy of RBI, how it is controlling inflation, right? So these are some important articles that appeared in our today's Hindu. And now let us try to see the detailed notes of this important articles. Okay, so this is our notes. So first topic is about G7. We are going to see that. So first let us see why it is in news. So G7 foreign ministers, they called for humanitarian pauses in this Israel-Hamas war and to let aid in and help the release of hostages and sought to return a broader peace process. So as well, this G7 foreign ministers, they talked about how to bring peace in this Israel and Palestine, and they want to come up with broader peace process. They want to come up with this broader peace process in this Israel-Hamas war, and they want to release the hostages as well. So here they came up with 2-day meeting in Tokyo. Tokyo is in Japan. So the group of 7 wealthy nations, they said that they want to defend itself, and even they have the responsibility to protect civilians and to comply with international humanitarian law. And in this context here, G7 members, they are committed to prepare sustainable long-term solutions to bring a peace in this region. So if you're talking about some facts regarding this Group 7 or G7, it is an international organization. But when it was formed in year 1975. And this G7 bloc, which meets annually, every year they will meet and they will discuss issues of common interest like global economic governance, international security and energy policy. All these areas are important areas that will be discussed in this annual meet of G7. So G7 countries, which are the members of this G7 countries? So we have UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan and US. So India is not the member of G7. So you have to remember this. And one more interesting fact here is all G7 countries, they are part of G20, and here India is part of G20, not in the G7 or G8. So G7 does not have a formal charter or a secretariat, and the presidency which rotates among the member countries each year. Okay, so this is about this topic, and recently we had this G7 summit meet in Tokyo in Japan. So this is very important. So if you want, you can make a list. So first G7 countries are Germany, UK, France, Canada, US, Italy and Japan. So if you are adding Russia, it will become G8. So for this G8, if you are adding countries like Turkey, European Union, Argentina, Brazil, South Korea, Mexico, China, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, Australia, India and South Africa, then it will become G20. That means 20 countries. So recently, which member countries they are getting this G20 membership? Please let me know in the comment box. Okay. And next topic is about organic farming. So this organic farming is at most important topic, because now we are facing this climate change, and because of using of this pesticides and fertilizers, so it will also cause this pollution. So climate change and pollution, there are two aggravating factors that is going to lead to food insecurity. So because of this, the solution here is we can move for natural farming or organic farming. So in that context, this article is very important. So why it is in news? Kerala government created an organic farming mission and want to encourage the adoption of sustainable organic and climate smart farming practices in the state. So So this mission, which aims at expanding organic farming to 5,000 hectares in the next 5 years through annual targets. So it wants to extend its agriculture under this organic farming soon. So here the farms which are run by agriculture department, at least 10% of area that will be set aside for organic farming. So first, whenever we want to move from one method to another method, first the government need to take some steps. So government need to show that we are doing this. So in that way here people will be get motivated and people will be moving towards that science initiative. So because of this, here the farms which run by this agriculture department itself, they are keeping aside 10% of area to be run under this organic farming. So another mandate of this organic farming mission is to make sure that selected beneficiaries or farms of organic farming schemes, they need to pursue the system at least for 5 years. So if they have to run for this organic farming at least for 5 years, then only they can understand so whether it is beneficial or not. And the mission will take steps to expand the system for certification, for branding, marketing of organic agriculture products from Kerala. So here, yes, here what happened, this mission itself taking some steps for branding purpose, for certification, marketing, etc. So all these things will be done under this mission so that people will be not much worried. And next topic, it is about what is this organic farming exactly means. So organic farming is nothing but United States Department of Agriculture, which said that organic farming, it is a system. So what it is? It is a system of largely excludes the use of synthetic inputs. So we are not using fertilizers, we are not using herbicides, pesticides, but we are focusing on crop rotations, crop residues, animal manures, organic waste and biological system of nutrient mobilization. So actually this organic farming, it is not at all new. Why? Because, so how many of you are from agricultural background? Then you can easily connect with this topic. Because whenever we are doing agriculture, we will be also having this livestock. For example, sheep, goats, buffaloes, cows, etc. Right? So whatever the thing that we are getting from those animals like that cow dung, etc. So that we will be storing and that will be using as a manure in our crops. Yes or no? Right? So organic farming is not at all new in India, because we are following that from since ancient times onwards. And currently India also ranks around 33rd in terms of total land under this organic cultivation and 88th rank in the ratio of agricultural land under organic crops. Okay, so this is about this organic farming in India. And if we are talking about what are the principles of this organic farming, so we are not using any genetically modified organisms, we are not using synthetic fertilizers, and we are using only organic fertilizers, and we are reducing the use of non-renewable resources, and there is use of local resources so that we can also give the voice for locals. And they will be also consuming the less amount of water, and will be also helpful for improving of soil holding capacity and increased soil organic matter, and there will be also larger floral and faunal and microbiological biodiversity seen in this manure that we are using here. And we can also reduce the soil loss and lower energy use, so we can go for crop rotation methods and no agrochemicals. So these are some important principles of this organic farming. So you have to make this diagram so that you can write these points whenever you are writing about answer regarding organic farming in India. Is that clear? Are you following or not? And next topic is what are the challenges in this organic farming in India. So first one is storage of biomass. So experts are not sure whether all the nutrients with the required quantities they can be made available by this organic materials or not. So we are using simply the manure. So whether we don't know like efficient amount of NPK is provided or not. And this one is disparity of supply and demand. So here non-perishable grains can be grown anywhere and transported to any location, but it is not in the case of fruits and as well as vegetables. because they will be spoiled very quickly. And next one is time. So organic farming requires greater interaction between farmer and his crop. So that here we need to focus especially on weed control mechanisms. We are not using herbicides, right? And this one is, if you are taking the produce to market, yes, the organic foods are costly. So it is not much affordable by all. And there is also lack of special infrastructure to store these organic products, because if you see in the case of fruits and vegetables, they are perishable goods. Correct? And next topic it is about Taiwan Malacca blockade and India's options. So this article is at most important from your international relations point of view. So you have to think a lot from this topic, and we have to see even map of this Malacca Strait. So why it is in news? So recently what happened, China is showing its assertiveness or aggressiveness on Taiwan. So it is coming up with deployment of Air Force and Navy in the surrounding areas. Okay. So because of all these things, now the countries which are present in this Indo-Pacific region, so they have a question like whether India would take action in the Strait of Malacca or Andaman Sea in the event of conflict between this United States and China over this Taiwan, whether India can be involved or not. So this is the question which is mainly debated in the newspapers and as well as in the TV channels. So what are the options that we have? So first one is we can go for blockades. So distant blockades away from belligerent nations' geography that can be challenged under this international law. So if there is blockade of this Malaccan Strait, so India can move to International Court of Justice. And next one is the trade. The trade that passes through the Strait of Malacca is not just China's economic and energy lifeline, but it is also focusing on trade of Japan, South Korea, even India, which passes through this same strait. So it will be affecting the trade of India, Japan, and almost all the countries. And third one is the Strait of Malacca is long and it is nearly around 500 miles. And it involves the sovereignty of other states like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand and Singapore. So they will be get adversely affected by this naval blockade. So these countries, they can also support India, right? And next one is commercial shipping is extremely complex to identify in terms of sovereignty of the vessel, flag, registration, insurance and as well as ownership of cargo. So this is also one problem before India to complain about that so-and-so country in the International Court of Justice. And China is also has huge onshore floating strategic petroleum reserves. So if you are going for blockade of this Malacca Strait also, so it will be having the good reserves so that can be extracted and that can be used by this China. And naval blockade or unilateral action which is against any adversary naval vessels, that would lead to declaration of a war. Okay, so there is a thing which is present. So here we will be not much taking much risk. And regional countries, they are adversely affected by disruption of the Strait of Malacca, including friendly nations. They are unlikely to endorse any unilateral action. So if they are not taking any steps here, how India can be moving forward? So this is also one question. And China would use its even permanent seat in this United Nations Security Council and regional influence to good effect to decrease this effort of other countries. Yes, it is having one advantage here is China is member of permanent seat of United Nations Security Council, right? So these are some important things that you have to remember. And this is the map of the Strait of Malacca. So now let us see the countries. Here we have Singapore, Brunei, Malaysia, and this is Andaman Sea, and here we have this is China. So the trade will happen in this route, that is Strait of Malacca. So it is one of the important choke point. Clear? And let us see next topic. It is about move towards EFIR but with caution. So this article is also very important. So now let us try to see what is this Law Commission of India recommended. So Law Commission of India in report number 282, which recommended that in cases where the accused is not known, registration of an EFIR should be allowed for all cognizable offences. So for all cognizable offences, so we can allow this EFIR. So if the accused is known as a preliminary step, registration of an EFIR may be allowed for cognizable offences wherein the punishment provided under this IPC and other laws is up to 3 years. So whenever there is any punishment for any offence which will be like around 3 years, so in that cases we can go and we can file this EFIR. So this is the recent recommendation by this Law Commission report. So what is the meaning of this EFIR? So EFIR is nothing but electronic version of first information report. That is, FIR is nothing but first information report. So this FIR is very important because it is an initial report that activates criminal justice system. So why we need to implement this EFIRs? Because whenever we want to address the delays in this FIR process, so we can go for registration through electronic medium. And what are the benefits? So benefits of the first one is they will help in real-time crime reporting for citizens, so that we will be getting a faster response from law enforcement agencies. So from all these agencies we can get response fast. And what is significance? The adoption of EFIR aligns with the key government initiatives like Digital India Mission and as well as government e-governance plan, so that we can improve accountability and transparency. And next topic it is about loss and damage fund. So we have to see this topic. So context says that as the climate crisis intensifies, so two terms that will come into picture. The first one is adaptation and second one is loss and damage. So adaptation is nothing but it is a proactive response to climate change. It is the art of survival by which communities and countries, they make deliberate choices to prepare for and to cope with climate related challenges. So in all these things, this adaptation is very important. And next one is loss and damage is nothing but it talks about irreversible consequences of climate change. Like what are the impacts that you are facing? For example, Hiroshima sinking, increasing of landslide, increasing of mudslides, increasing of earthquake events, increasing of sea level rise, melting of glaciers. So all these things, they comes under loss and damage. So they can be avoided or they can be mitigated when we are focusing on adaptation. Okay, so recently in this 19th Conference of Parties of United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that is UNFCCC, so we came up with establishing of this loss and damage fund. So this will be very important for your prelims. So you can get COP19, COP20, COP26, COP28. So in which Conference of Parties we came up with this loss and damage fund. That is nothing but this COP19. So in this loss and development fund, which was conceived as a critical component of global climate action, so we can recognize that some of these consequences of this climate change are irreversible and they are beyond the capacity of vulnerable nations to handle. So in that context, so we can use this fund to go for at least preventive and mitigation steps. And I want to announce about this course, that is daily mains answer writing course, that we are going to start from November 13th onwards. So if you are facing problem of answer writing and if you have problem of not having content and organizing content to write a structured answer, this course is very beneficial. And I will personally mentoring you regarding this mains answer writing. So I can 100% say that you can improve this answer writing skills if you are joining this course for sure. So here we are covering entire GS, which includes 1, 2, 3, 4 papers, and even essay and case study will be covered. And there will be live essay writing practice. So we will be posting one video of live essay writing and case study answering. So how it is going on, so that you will be getting an idea like how this course will go on. And even we have live doubt clearing sessions on every Sunday, and we are going to give you one-to-one mentorship as well. So you can share your problems with us so that we will find a solution for your problem. And ultimately our goal it is to improve your answer writing skills. and try to join this course. So cost is 8,200 rupees, and even if you can't pay that amount in one go, you can pay in 2 installments. Okay, and next one is we are going to start this ethics class also. Ethics is part of your GS paper 4 and it will contribute about 250 marks. So getting marks in your ethics is the most challenging, and many students, they will lose marks in your ethics, and because of that they will not see their name in the list. So you should not be like that, especially my students, okay, who join this ethics class. I will ensure you that you will be getting more than 130 plus marks for sure within this 25 days. So we are going to have 50 hours of live classes from 6 to 8 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. On Sunday I am giving holiday for you, and we are covering each and every subtopic even, and we are focusing on keywords and examples, and even I am going to give you daily one mains question for practice, and for that answer we are going to discuss the structure of that answer as well, and we are focusing on case studies as well. And if you are not attending the live on that day, you can get the recorded class as well. So there will be doubt clearing and mentorship will be given, and this course, it is started by me itself. So if you have a belief on me, trust on me, try to join this course. Okay, so here the cost is 4,500 rupees only. So you will not getting this course anywhere, that too live classes anywhere in India. So it is my challenge. So try to join this, and we are going to help you to cover ethics within 25 days. And even we are going to give you the notes and some value added material as well. So this course is going to be started from 15th November onwards. So if you have any doubts regarding these courses, so please contact me on this number 8074765513. And even this is WhatsApp number, you can text me on this WhatsApp as well. Okay, so this is about this, and that's all for today. And if you want to get the notes of this class, so you can join the Telegram channel, and that channel link is given in description box. Okay, so this is the Telegram channel, Rathod's IAS classes. So you can join this Telegram channel so that you can get the notes. And this is our YouTube channel. You have to subscribe to this channel so that you will be getting updates whenever we are posting the video. And this is our website. So first you have to click on login or register. And if you are visiting to our website for the first time, you have to click on do not have account, and you have to register for the first time. So after registering, you can use the same ID and password so that you can log in. And here you can click on the course list. So this is the courses that we are providing, and this is our mains answer writing course. Okay, so if you want to join, you can click on this buy course and you can do the payment in the website itself. Or else if you are facing any problem, you can call me, okay, on this number. So please make a note of this number 8074765513. Clear? So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. If you really like this class, hit the like button and share this video with your friends as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy channel. Thank you so much.